I was told I should probably introduce myself because I think there's going to be a lot of people coming onto this stream that are curious about our District 5 and District 7 candidates that might not be as familiar with the Downtown Association and might not be familiar with myself. My name's Alan Marcus, but literally everybody calls me Gumby. I was asked to explain that, and it's because I'm green. No, the actual truth of the matter is I own a martial arts studio in downtown San Jose, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu studio, and Gumby flexibility for what I do comes in handy in a number of different fashions. I also opened up my second academy on the east side in District 5, so I have a special interest in what's going on over here. So I was told not to make a commercial, but if you want to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, come talk to me a little bit later on. But thank you so much for coming in live or for tuning in to the San Jose Downtown Association's August public meeting, where we'll be getting into our candidate forums for, again, District 5 and District 7. We do this every election year because we're not only representing the downtown, we want you to know that downtown San Jose is, quite frankly, every district's neighborhood, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and start off with the President's report going into this. So it's been going on through the, well, actually, I'm not going to start off with the President's report yet. I have to go ahead and start off with, first screw up already, start off by thanking our sponsors again. So this meeting is brought to you by the law firm of Hobsons & Carley, longtime supporter of the San Jose Downtown Association. The treats and beverages are provided to you by Academic Coffee. Location in the Sofa District, tasty treats on there. And we're coming to you live from the Tabard Theater, which is a beloved jewel here in the San Pedro Square area. And I'd like to bring up Stephanie to come up and talk a little bit about our Tabard Square and what's going on.
Hello, everyone. Whoa, that's a hot mic now. Hello. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to the San Jose Downtown Association and the candidates for bringing this wonderful, important part of public process to our space. We want to get more people to know about this little hidden gem that we have here in San Pedro Square. So just go check out our website. We have concerts and comedy coming up all through the rest of the summer, and we'll be launching our 2022-23 season soon. What can I tell you? We have a cabaret fundraiser that is free to attend. It's going to be a whole night of music coming up next Thursday night, and you can RSVP and come to that for free. But come back. We have just wonderful, wonderful local music, local bands that come in here, and comedy and theater. And it's a wonderful good time, and it's a beautiful space. So if you are enjoying the wonderful vibes that are in this room, you should see it when we've got kind of a party going on. We hope you come back. So thank you. Back to Gumby.
Thank you. Again, beautiful venue. Must come and check out all the great shows over here. Now, actually, I need to start off on a bit of a more somber note right now. I want to acknowledge the passing of our good friend Joe Noonan, who at one point actually did work for the Downtown Association, among many other nonprofits and projects that he had. Some might call him Mr. Downtown, and the fact that if you've had any length of or interactions with the downtown, you've probably at least seen Joe or felt his impact on that. Some of us might have called him Mr. Carrot for his willingness to get up in the suit. Big personality and a big loss for the downtown. We will be having a public memorial for Joe to celebrate him August 18th at the Plaza Park, which will be going on from 5:30 to 8 o'clock. And I'd like to start this off with just a moment of silence right now, acknowledging Joe and for all of us that knew and loved him, which is many of us in downtown, just acknowledging what we're going through now. Thank you very much, and God bless and Godspeed, Joe. Thanks for all you did for downtown. I'll start off with the President's report by talking about something that's been talked about for quite some time right now in the press release, but this is the first time I get to talk about in person. Our new CEO of the Downtown Association will officially start on October 4th. That is Alex Statinsky, who was selected after an exhaustive 6-month search committee of past and present San Jose Downtown Association and PBID presidents, okay? Alex's latest stint was actually as the executive director of the Downtown Reno Partnership, which is a similar organization to the Downtown Association, which he was brought in to build up from the ground up. You know, there's actually an international downtown associations, which many cities and towns have similar organizations to what we do here in San Jose, to what they did in Reno. And I came to learn through the search process that I chaired over the last 6 months exactly how highly regarded our very own San Jose Downtown Association is. In addition to which, you know, Alex served as the head of organizations. He brings a wealth of experience, but he served the head of organizations that represented downtown Los Angeles, West Hollywood, and the Chamber of Commerce in Beverly Hills. That last one, actually, I found out by looking him up. He had a guest spot on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, where he apparently tried to explain to the housewives how a business works. We figured if he can deal with those types of folks, he'll be able to handle anybody that comes into San Jose. In all seriousness, we felt that Alex would be a great CEO for the next evolution and the next step of San Jose Downtown Association, and we're excited for his excitement, for his enthusiasm and expertise that he's bringing to San Jose. He's particularly very strong in marketing, business recruitment, small business retention, among other things. He built an award-winning Clean and Safe program with an effective and a compassionate approach to Reno's homelessness crisis. Alex feels strongly that the infrastructure, or as he puts it, the bones of a great downtown is already here. It's already been built. And he sees so much potential here in San Jose, and we're very excited to be welcoming him to downtown on October 4th. Although there is a good chance you may see glimpses of him before that date. And on that note, our, I guess I can say now, former but still great CEO, Scott Nees, his official last day will be on November 4th. So there is going to be a bit of an overlap between the two CEOs, and they're already working towards a smooth transition right now. You know, we've had 34 years to talk about Scott and his service to San Jose, so I'm not going to go over his accomplishments at this time, but I want you to invite you to pay your proper respects to him, as we'll be giving him a proper farewell at a banquet roast in his honor. And now I can officially announce that it will be Saturday, October 29th at the Signia Hotel. As far as I'm concerned, it's going to be the biggest event to hit downtown San Jose in 34 years, and everybody who's important in San Jose will be there, and you should be there too. And in addition, it's a benefit for the Downtown Foundation, which is the part of the San Jose Association, San Jose Downtown Association, which is the 501c nonprofit that sponsors things like the beautification and art of projects within downtown. So I'm very much hoping that I'm going to see all of you there on October 29th. Okay. Speaking of events, summer's not quite over yet. We still have a lot of summer events going on. Come by the Farmers Market, my neighborhood in the Sofa District on the 300 block of South First Street, where you can get produce, baked and prepared goods, meet your neighbors, and find out more on a first-name basis with the people going on downtown. It's every Wednesday from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. To make it more convenient for the residents, and we'll be doing that until November. San Jose Jazz has their Summer Fest this weekend with many venues showcasing great live music. Not just jazz, actually, but blues, R&B, Latin, New Orleans, salsa, and more. To me, we're really not back until we're at the point where we're supporting our live music, our live venues, our showcases, our artists. So please come out for that. It'll be a great time. Thank you. Next week, CineQuest returns, which is San Jose's own indie movie film festival. You know, I actually have a kid sister that works in Hollywood, so I have some major biases about this. And while the big blockbusters are fun, if you really want to encourage something original, something thoughtful, something creative on the silver screen, it's very important to support independent film. City Dance has another in their series of events on August 18th at the Circle of Palms in San Jose. Dance now, think later is the motto, and I have no idea what that actually means. I'll have to ask my dancer friends about that. But it sounds like it's going to be a good time to me. Okay? Thank God music in the park is still around and back and stronger than ever. Thank you so much to the new caretakers of the event. I had a blast at the last two events, which featured the legendary Whalers and Flock of Seagulls headlining respectively. But I really can't wait for the legendary band War to take the stage this August 19th. And given that the city's just recently overturned their decades ban on cruising, I think it would be entirely appropriate for all my lowrider friends to come out and see War. Bring the family to Starlight Cinemas. August 20th, we'll be showing the animated film Sing 2 in St. James Park. Fun for the whole family. The Silicon Valley Pride Parade and Festival will be August 27th and 28th. I sincerely hope there is time, as always, for our community to come together, celebrate who we are, and show our love to each other. September 2nd and 4th is the Summer Bash, with an all-star lineup of original acts and tribute bands, all benefiting abused children. Viva Cale returns on September 18th, and if you haven't been yet, it's a really incredible event where our streets are activated and you can walk, you can ride, you can roll, you can skate, just can't drive, down the streets and get a closer, more intimate view of our city. Plenty of activations and activities going all along between the parks and recs and all the businesses along the route. And finally, Sonic Runway is back in front of City Hall for the foreseeable future. Generated a big buzz and thousands of posts in Instagram, TikTok, and all those types of social media over the years. But there's nothing like coming out and seeing it in person, making your own memories with that. So those for the events going on. And obviously much more to come, but we have a busy summer still ahead of us right now. And now on to our main event, our City Council Candidate Forum. You know, San Jose is actually the 10th largest city in the country, and we have 10 separate districts, each with their own unique features and charm and quirks and personalities. But we strongly believe, again, that the downtown belongs to everyone, and a vibrant downtown reflects upon the whole city. Okay? And more specifically, the San Jose Downtown Association has actually been actively involved in Districts 5 and 7 as part of the Federal Economic Development Administration grant secured through the City Office of the Economic Development, in which we were able to hire Omar Torres to assist in the economic recovery in the Alum Rock sections and the Monterey Corridor, which were two areas that were hit hard by the COVID-19 epidemic. District 5 is where you would find the Alum Rock business, and it is the area of San Jose commonly referred to as the east side of San Jose. It's rich in history and the people are fantastic there. And a few years myself, I opened up my second location, Heroes Martial Arts, in the east side over at the Capitol Square Mall. Today, we have two of our candidates with us that are vying for the District 5 seat. I'd like to welcome up to our stage Nora Campos and Peter Ortiz, please. Thank you so much for joining us. So for the benefit of you folks and the folks of you in the audience, I'm going to go ahead and run through the format and what we're looking to go through. You'll each get a 1-minute introduction to be able to tell yourselves who you are and what you mean to the District 5. I will ask a series of between 8 to 10 questions, depending on how good you are about our time limits. And it will alternate between the candidates who goes first, who goes second, along with this. And at the end, we'll have a 1-minute outro for each of you, where you can go ahead and give us your speech on why we should go ahead, or why the residents of District 5 should go ahead and vote for you. So by the, we do have like soccer-style cards, so hopefully you can see that one right there. But I trust everybody's going to be considerate and good on this one right now. Okay, so I'll start off with a 1-minute intro, randomly chosen. Nora Campos, I would invite you to go ahead and give your introduction.
Thank you. It is great to see how the Downtown Business Association is thriving and all the different events that have happened within the last, I would say, 10 years. So that's kudos to the leadership of Scott Neese and everyone part of it. I'm Nora Campos. I did serve on the City Council in 2001 to 2010, and we did some great things when I was there. Then I had the privilege to serve in the State Assembly for 6 years, from 2010 to 2006. And I am running for many reasons, but I think the one reason, I love serving my community. And just imagine a city and a district where you can walk out your front door, be able to go to your neighboring business district, and visit your parks, and visit your neighbors right there in your own backyard, and feel safe at the same time, and that there is no blight in your community. Those are real issues, and being able to house our unhoused population is very crucial, because that is a priority, not only for my district, but I believe for the whole city of San Jose. Thank you.
Thank you. Peter Ortiz, same question. Introduce yourself, please.
Wonderful. Thank you. Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you all. My name is Peter Ortiz, and I'm running for San Jose City Council because I truly believe we can create a city that works for all of us. Now, I was born and raised in East San Jose to a single mother who worked tirelessly to provide a better life for myself and my brothers. It was my love for my community and access to education that gave me a chance. Since then, I've served on our local school board and now as president of the County Board of Education, working to make sure that every child has access to education and opportunity. If there's one thing that we know for a fact, is that the status quo is not working. We are at a crossroads, and our campaign presents a new vision for the city of San Jose. A vision for returning to the basics, addressing homelessness, ensuring public safety, and making sure that we have a thriving local economy. I truly believe that we can and we must do more for the citizens here in the city of San Jose. Thank you.
Thank you. Peter Ortiz, first question. How do you think San Jose has done in responding to the COVID pandemic, and how are conditions in your district?
Thank you so much for that question. I mean, there's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. The city unfortunately did not have the infrastructure and systems in place to provide direct resources to our community and local businesses. However, it was amazing to see how fast our city got into place in partnership with the county to begin addressing these crises. And I give a head nod and thank the City Council for their hard work. There's no question that East San Jose was hit the hardest. The top 5 districts that were impacted, the top 5 zip codes that were impacted were in East San Jose. And I didn't stand on the sidelines. I served on the COVID-19 Equity Task Force, having a hands-on input to make sure that as testing centers and COVID-19 vaccine sites were opened, they opened up in hotspots in East San Jose so that families who were impacted, our working people, our first responders, had first access to vaccines and testing. Moving forward, it'll be important that we have an equity lens for our recovery.
Thank you. Nora Campos, same question. How do you think San Jose has done in responding to the COVID pandemic, and how are conditions in your district?
Thank you for this question. People have asked me, what have you been doing for the past 3 years since COVID hit? When COVID hit, it closed down the city of San Jose, and it also closed downtown as well. But in my district, I didn't sit on the sidelines. I started working to make connections with the county. I worked with County Supervisor Dave Cortese to secure $500,000. Right when I addressed this issue, we knew that they had a site at Powell Stadium and they had a site at James Lick, and it wasn't working. So we were able to secure $500,000, and we had worked with the city manager to be able to house it at the Mexican Heritage Plaza, where we started testing, and people had the freedom to come. We did door-to-door knocking. The infrastructure was set in place, and the important thing about the infrastructure that we were able to do is that when we went into vaccines, we already had the infrastructure from there. And I feel very proud that we were able to bring Gardner to work with us as well, because they did most of the work.
Thank you very much. Nora Campos, you will get the second question. What is your position on reimagining the San Jose Police Department?
So my vision for reimagining this police department, first of all, is to make sure that we bring it back to the level that it was when I left in 2010. We've lost 200 police officers. And I think you'll see that the Spotlight did an article that talked about that. And I truly believe that the city's responsibility is to make sure that our community is safe. Having said that, that is going to be an area that I will focus on. As I've been walking through the whole district, that has been the #1 priority for the community. The other thing that I want to see happen is community policing, and also figuring out how police officers that are on the beats be able to continue to be there more than just 2 years. The one thing that I constantly hear from people is we build a relationship with our beat officers and then they're gone. In order for us to make progress, they say we need to have a strong relationship with them. But those will be things that I want. And the other thing is that I constantly hear that we need, thank you.
Peter Ortiz, what is your position on reimagining the San Jose Police Department?
Thank you for that question. As Nora just mentioned, the #1 issue impacting families in East San Jose is public safety. During the pandemic, we've seen an increase in property crime, armed robberies, and violence targeting both residents and our small businesses. I serve on the Alum Rock Santa Clara Street Business Association board, and every day we're starting to hear more and more about businesses being vandalized, windows being broken, and unfortunately being robbed. I support the San Jose Police Department, and when on council, I will advocate to increase pay and increase benefits to make sure that we are hiring more and retraining our police officers. We cannot allow them to slip through and go to other departments. In regards to reimagining police, I believe we can look at some avenues in regards to freeing up our police department, our on-duty officers' time, looking at alternative first responders, but I will not support defunding the police and will oppose it on the city council. Thank you.
Thank you. Peter, next question. How do you support the creation of affordable housing in your district when many of your residents oppose it?
This is a great question and one that impacts me personally. I'm part of a generation who grew up in East San Jose, has enjoyed the benefits here of Silicon Valley, but due to the cost of living, unfortunately cannot see a future of owning a house here in the area. I am a renter, right? And I have skin in the game. I'm not someone who's just saying, oh, affordable housing as a talking point. I need it for myself and my children in order to see a future here in Silicon Valley. As your council member for District 5, I'm going to support a variety of housing. Market rate, affordable, sustainable housing for our homeless population, as well as tenant protections to make sure that the more people aren't being pushed out to the street. And I know that there are people who are anti-affordable housing, but I plan to work with the entire district to make sure that as we develop, we do so in a way that protects the quality of life, the culture, and environment in the city of San Jose.
Nora Campos, same question. How do you support the creation of affordable housing in your district when many of your residents oppose it?
Thank you for this question. When I was on the city council, we had a goal of building 10,000 affordable housings. Within my district, whether it was senior or family housing, I was able to get close to 3,000 affordable housing units. The way we're going to make this happen is continuing to be bold, figure out funding streams that will actually subsidize some of the housing so that people can actually own their home. I'm going to work with the different groups that are interested in making sure that we can also create that avenue for those that want to live in San Jose, be able to raise their family here, and be able to work here. I've done this before, I'll do it again, but I also think that we need to continue to build affordable housing on our light rail station and also our BART stations as well, because people should be able to walk out their front door, get to their jobs, and we will also be making sure that it's good for the environment. Affordable housing has always been something that I've worked on and been passionate about, and I'll continue. Thank you.
Thank you. Nora Campos, next question. Homelessness is increasing in San Jose. How would you work to ensure that our most vulnerable, unsheltered population receive mental and behavioral health services?
Yeah, thank you for this question. When I was in the State Assembly, it was a challenging time because I knew that we had 4,000 unhoused individuals in the city of San Jose. I brought a bill forward, which was my tiny homes bill, and I couldn't get the rest of my colleagues to support it because it was really thinking outside of the box. So I said, how about if we just do a pilot program in the city of San Jose? That was in 2016. The minute that bill got signed by Governor Brown, it meant that the city of San Jose could have put a shovel in the ground and started building those homes. The other component that it had to it was wraparound service, mental health services, as well as job creation, helping people get the skills they need to be able to fill out a resume so that they can get a job. The interesting thing about that is that the city didn't move right away, and then when the pandemic hit, the language in there allowed us to move quickly. What was interesting is Senator Dave Cortese sent me an email later on saying, with your bill, we were able to build 600 bridge housing units in the city of San Jose.
Thank you for that. Peter Ortiz, same question. Homelessness is increasing in San Jose. How would you work to ensure that our most vulnerable, unsheltered population receive the mental and behavioral health services?
Thank you so much for this question, and this is one that is near and dear to my heart. You know, I've had an alternative path to public service, and I myself spent a time as a member of the unhoused community, and I know what it's like to sleep in parks in District 5 and be exposed to the elements. At the end of the day, it is our job at the City of San Jose to make sure that our residents are safe, and that includes those in the houseless community. I'm going to approach it with a housing first model to make sure that we're providing a multiple prong variety of housing, whether it's short-term parking programs, small houses, renovating hotels, or long-term solutions like we see being championed by Charities Housing and other nonprofit organizations. But at the end of the day, it's important that these resources come with wraparound support services, whether it's drug and alcohol counseling, mental health support, support in getting a job. We need to think with our hearts on this issue.
Thank you. Peter, next question. How do you view your role in working with the mayor's office, and is there a council committee or board assignment you are especially interested in?
Oh, me again? Oh, sorry. Yeah, great question. So I think it's extremely important that as council members we have a strong flow of communication and collaboration with the mayor's office, right? There needs to be a single vision for the city of San Jose, and it's the mayor's office to lead on that vision, but they need to collaborate with city council members. And I'm ready to work with whoever is the mayor when it comes to post-November. In regards to a single committee, there's two. One, I would like to be on the Small Business Advisory Task Force. I've been a long time advocate for small businesses, and I would like to continue that advocacy on the San Jose City Council, or the Community and Economic Development Committee, so that I can continue to champion for affordable housing and a thriving economy.
Nora Campos, same question.
Oh, thank you for this question. I think what I would start off with, first of all, the committees I would love to be on, because I'm ready to start working, is the economic development one, because I think it's important. That's where we have a common ground. I also would like to serve on the Rules Committee, because that gives you the opportunity to bring policy forward that will actually move this city. And I also want to be able to get a seat on the VTA, because I think light rail and BART are important, and we're going to have to spend a lot of resources. The other area that you asked me about the mayor, I think that within the first week, let the mayor get into the office. I will go and request some time to meet with him or her, whoever becomes the mayor. And I've worked with two mayors before and had a great relationship. And we'll share with them what my vision is for East San Jose and see how my vision works with their vision, how we can collaborate so that we can have a seamless process so that we can get the resources we need for East San Jose as well as for the city of San Jose.
Thank you. Nora, next question. Small business, the backbone of the city's tax base, has been decimated by the pandemic. What initiatives would you support for the recovery of San Jose's small business community?
Well, the first thing that I would do on day one is figure out what our economic development department looks like right now and where are the holes that are lacking. Making sure that we do a subcommittee from the economic that just focuses on small businesses. We can't have the big businesses and the small business, same staff person, a designated person. The other thing that I would work on is to make sure that we are working with our small businesses to have a representative from economic development that works with them hand in hand to make sure that we're working with them to access grants, working with the state, because there's a lot of grants at the state that are also forgiven, to make sure that they're getting the money that they need. The interesting thing is that our small businesses are the backbone of our community, whether it's in downtown, East San Jose, or any other district. And we need to make sure that these individuals have the resources that they need, because this is their livelihood. This is their American dream, to be able to own a small business right here in Silicon Valley. Thank you.
Peter Ortiz, same question.
Thank you. This is also a question that I have a lot of experience with. I have a strong track record of advocacy for small businesses here in the city of San Jose. And I haven't been waiting to be elected, right, in order to begin advocating for the businesses of District 5, but really throughout the city of San Jose. During the pandemic, I championed the East San Jose Rescue Plan, right? And I partnered with Councilmember Carrasco to introduce that at the City Council, which would have allocated several $1 million for direct relief and grants for our small businesses, as well as the East San Jose Business Manager, who would have, who was enacted and went business to business to provide direct support. Right. Once I'm on City Council, I want to make sure that I'm meeting with small businesses who developed debt and advocate for a debt relief program to provide direct grants for these small businesses. We weren't able to give them a lot of grants during the pandemic. Let's relieve their debt after the pandemic, because I know that there's a lot who are currently experiencing it. Thank you.
Thank you. Peter, the city's development agreement with Google for Downtown West was approved in 2021. What is your position on the project and what it means for the future of the city?
Excellent question. So I'm supportive of the Google project here in downtown San Jose. It has a lot of opportunity to bring new jobs, both tech jobs and construction jobs, and opportunities for the residents of our city. One area that I would like to advocate for with Google, and if I was on the City Council, I would have done a little bit better, is to make sure that we are building pipelines to careers for current residents of San Jose to qualify for the jobs that Google will be bringing. Right, sitting down Google with our K-12 education system, our community college system, and building out those pipelines and career pipelines to make sure that as our youth are developing here in the city of San Jose, they are able to get a job here at Google. They see themselves working in the tech industry. But I support Google. I'm ready to partner with them and want to see how they can invest more in our community.
Nora, same question.
I'm excited about the opportunity for Google to be here. They're coming. It's exciting. I think the fact that they have stepped up and already partnered with the city of San Jose, and the council has done a good job of making sure that the funding that is going to come down for housing is going to be used well. I'm excited about the opportunity to be able to give input on that. But the other thing that I'm excited about is that we know that our schools actually already are working with our community colleges. How do we connect them to Google so that we are creating that pipeline in an education system? But the other thing that I think is really good is how do we hold Google accountable for making sure that where they're investing housing, that they're also investing economic development there. So that if individuals want to be able to open a small business right there in their community, that there's money to be able for that infrastructure. There are many opportunities. The other thing that's exciting is that Google puts the city of San Jose on a global map, finally, to have an identity of being the technology capital of the world.
And this is going to be our last question. Nora, do you agree that the transportation infrastructure is lacking in the city? How do you prioritize investments in bus rapid transit, light rail, BART Phase 2, and the Deardarn Station?
Yeah, I have been working in this space for many years, whether I was on the council, whether I was in the assembly. I was able to secure funding from the feds for bus rapid transit and the extension of light rail to Eastridge. So this is a priority for me, and I'll continue to make it a priority. You know what's exciting? I don't know if a lot of you heard that Antonio Veragosa just got appointed as the infrastructure advisor for the state of California. He's going to be a great advocate. I will work with him to make sure that we're on his list of funding, and I hope that my former colleagues that will work with me and future colleagues will work with me to make sure that that's a priority. If we have relationships, we can get funding here, because our Congress members can't do it alone. But this definitely, and then I will also make sure that it's at the forefront on the VTA in discussions, because we do need to close the loop on transportation.
Peter Ortiz, same question.
Thank you. Transportation is also a major issue that impacts residents in East San Jose. We have a sizable population of working class residents who rely on buses, light rail, and other public transportation forms to get to work, right? We need to make sure that we are connecting the city of San Jose for our working class residents in District 5. And unfortunately, we have underinvested in our public transportation system. Everyone knows this. It seems like every year, you know, since I was a young person, we've cut more lines of VTA buses and more routes and times. Right? We need to make sure that we are building a robust transportation system if we truly want to create this walkable alternative transit city. When it comes to BART, building light rail, I will advocate tirelessly for these programs. These create more jobs for working people. They connect individuals to their jobs, to school. Public transportation is something that our families need. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I'm going to give you your last chance for this format right here to give your outros and what you'll be bringing to the D5 and the city. We'll start with you, Peter.
Wonderful. I want to thank the San Jose Downtown Association for this great opportunity to engage with your members. As I mentioned, I'm not your ordinary politician or elected official. I'm really an advocate, a community advocate who has been working tirelessly in this community to mitigate these issues for District 5 residents, holding public safety meetings for our neighborhoods impacted by crime and violence, organizing our small businesses and supporting them to apply for grants and support from the city, as well as advocating to make sure that as COVID-19 vaccines were being rolled out, that they did so in an equitable way, prioritizing residents of District 5 and those hit hardest by the pandemic. When I'm on the city council, I will work tirelessly and keep an open door to everyone and meet with everyone, because when I'm elected, I represent the community, not special interests, and I look forward to partnering with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Nora Campos.
Thank you for allowing us the opportunity to share some of our ideas. The Downtown Business Association has always been a key organization within the city. And this message is for the residents of District 5, if you're online listening. I will be a leader that you can count on, a leader that will get things done. I've proven it before. We were able to build Story King, which brought 400 jobs there, which was an investment of $100 million of public-private money. That is the leadership that I bring. We built fire stations, parks, libraries, and we also had 23 neighborhood associations, which now we are down to 6. I will invest in the neighborhoods. We will remove the trash and the blight in your community. That will be the #1 thing we work on. We will make sure that the small businesses have an infrastructure on Alum Rock and Story Road that will thrive so that people can actually walk out their front door and support their small businesses. Those are the things that I bring to the table. I will get things done, and I look forward to working with each and every one of you, whether you live in East San Jose or whether you live in another district in the city of San Jose. I look forward to the partnerships and the opportunities. Thank you.
And thanks to both of you for spending your time here with the Downtown Association. Whatever the outcome is, we're looking forward to working with either and both of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Excellent job. You did too. Good job.
Well, now we'll move on to our District 7 candidates. District 7 runs the south of downtown, includes the Monterey Corridor, which has many longtime established residents and businesses. I'd like to welcome to our foreman, the current council person, Maya Esparza, and her challenger, Ben Doan.
Let's see, there we go.
So we'll be running the same format, quick thing, like you'll get an introduction, you'll get a series of questions, and you'll get an outro, and we'll be going back and forth in the order on that. Randomly selected, Maya Esparza, if you can please give us your 1-minute introduction to yourself to our Downtown Association audience.
Thank you, good morning, it's a pleasure to be here. I always say that we're siblings, we're neighbors. I've grown up in San Jose, and I've spent my life serving the community that I love. As a child, I saw my parents, who were both educators, fighting to create a stronger future for their students and for families like ours. And those values shaped my life. So whether as it's a former school board member at the Franklin McKinley School District, a vice president at the American Red Cross, or leading the All the Way Home campaign to end veteran homelessness, I've worked to make a difference right here in San Jose. As a District 7 councilwoman, I've worked hard to overcome decades of neglect, to bring new resources to the community, improve public safety, bring more parks and playgrounds, and fix and improve our streets, and much more that I'm happy to go over later today. Because of that track record, I'm endorsed by the San Jose firefighters, Santa Clara County Democratic Party, and Congresswoman Zoe Lofgren. Thank you.
Thank you. Ben Doan, please give us your introduction.
Well, thank you very much for the opportunity to be here. Having us to have discussion like this on issues that matter to all of us. My issue is, when I'm, as a city council, my main concern is to keep you safe out there. Reduce the amount of unhoused residents, and make sure that the government would listen to all of us and not just the powerful people. I'm a firefighter. I'm a fire captain. I'm trained to respond to emergency and to lead others as we respond. Just to be frank, I think that the last 4 years, things have gotten worse. And I think it's time for change. We face multiple emergency, from homelessness to crime to many suffering from untreated mental health condition. And I will respond, I will lead. And I never be afraid of taking on the powerful special interest and do what is right. Thank you, and I look forward to answering your question.
All right, thank you very much, Ben. And your first question is, how do you think San Jose has done in responding to the COVID pandemic, and how are conditions in your district?
Well, as a firefighter and fire captain, I think I have some pretty unique insight to the policy that passed by our politician were actually implemented in the real world. First of all, I think we should be proud that we, as a community, came together and supported each other. Generally, we did a very good job to taking care of most of the vulnerable, but we did not look at the root cause. What San Jose need to get right is to learn from the 2 years plus of pandemic. There's many lessons to learn. And one, we were not prepared enough. And a lot of it, politicians overreach by closing parks at first and closing our schools too long. And on preparedness, just one of the reasons why I'm running right now. Our politicians, our political leaders know there will be fire, deep drought, earthquake, and pandemic and other natural disaster, and they're not prepared for it. I'm a trained emergency responder.
Thank you much for that. Maya Esparza, same question.
Thank you. San Jose has the highest vaccination rate of any big city in the U.S. With actually three of the county's hardest hit zip codes converging in District 7, residents and businesses in District 7 felt the brunt of the pandemic. From the onset, I fought to bring more COVID resources to District 7, and I thank my council colleagues and the County Board of Supervisors for really listening to our pleas. I worked with the county to bring testing and vaccination sites to District 7, including many pop-up events at schools and community centers and parks, as well as food distributions. I fought to expand our Wi-Fi initiative in partnership with the Eastside Union High School District, and I brought the only rental assistance center outside of City Hall to District 7. In a time when there was so much uncertainty and unrest, I was out on the front lines working hard on behalf of our residents and our businesses.
Thank you very much. And I didn't explain the format because again a little bit later. The questions will be, the answers will be for a minute. We have our staff person Nancy with the soccer cards right there, letting you know what the time limits look like. So having said that, I'll go to again, Councilperson Maya. What is your positioning? What is your position on reimagining the San Jose Police Department?
Well, I support our San Jose Police Department, and there are areas that we can modernize and evolve, and reimagining takes many forms. I want to say that I work to expand, improve, and add more funding to BEST, which is a program that brings resources to high-needs neighborhoods and focuses on gang prevention and intervention. I expanded police patrols in District 7, which is a form of community policing, including bringing the first ever Vietnamese-speaking foot patrol to Little Saigon. I brought the first in the city police trail patrol to the Coyote Creek Trail with officers working on bicycles, working with the community, and that's now being expanded to downtown. We need staffing and resources to match the current and new demands of the department. I work to add positions this year and in the coming years, which we've done for the first time since the last recession. And while it's easy to say we'll double the size of the PD at the cost of over $200 million, we also really need to work within our budget constraints. So to give some context, we added in the budget $2 million just to open 13 libraries in the city on Sundays. Thank you.
Thank you. Ben, same question.
We need to fully staff the police department. We used to have, prior to 2010, we had 1,450 officers. Our population had risen 20%, and we only got 1,150 police officers. And as we staff our department, we need to recruit right here people from San Jose that want to live in San Jose, that look like San Jose. Definitely the community policing to reduce crime. We have to work with neighborhoods and businesses to make sure that our streets are safe and making sure that our children are protected within the schools. And I am totally in support to make sure that we support the police department to its fully staffed according to the population that we have. Thank you.
Thank you. Ben, you'll get the next question. How do you support the creation of affordable housing in your district when many of your residents oppose it?
I don't think a lot of our residents oppose affordable housing because in District 7, there's a lot of people who can't afford affordable housing, for that matter. They oppose because they're being lectured by developer and politician who actually mock them and call them names when they just want to be heard of their concern within their neighborhood. If we do this right, I'm assured that the people in District 7 will support it. And the right means of housing near transit, using the existing housing better, like home sharing, making sure we invest into transit and the infrastructure first. So the new housing doesn't become a more traffic congestion. Thank you.
Councilperson Esparza, same question.
Thank you. I believe that if we're really serious as a city about solving the affordable housing crisis, we cannot continue to only have a few districts come to the table to deliver. We have half the districts, half of the city, hosting combined less than 10% of all the city's affordable housing. District 7 is already doing it. We have the most extremely low-income housing units in the city and the least number of market rate units in the city. What this means is less funding for our schools, our parks, all the way to less funding for public art. For years, Districts 3 and 7 have built the majority of affordable housing units, especially at the extremely low income level. So our residents understand the need. They are willing to support affordable housing projects, but we can't be the only ones. We need the rest of the city and the rest of the county to step up.
Thank you. Next question. Homelessness is increasing in San Jose. How would you work to ensure that our most vulnerable, unsheltered population receive mental and behavioral health services?
Thank you. I really like this question because it dives into the details about mental and behavioral health services that are needed to be successful. To start, I have supported implementing and actually expanding this year in June the SJPD's Mobile Crisis Assessment Team, or MCAT. And that ensures officers have specialized training in mental and behavioral health. You might have seen them out in the polo shirts as they've gone out in the community. Because addressing addiction is just one sorely needed service to help folks get back on their feet. I have personally gone before the County Board of Supervisors to advocate for more behavioral health and mental health services. And we really need more. And I'll just add that we've streamlined construction, especially with tiny homes, but we really need to streamline state certifications for mental and behavioral health services so it doesn't take years to add beds. Thank you.
Thank you. Ben Doan, same question.
Well, thank you. I think my background give me a very unique and powerful perspective on these issues. I used to, as part of my professional career, I used to work at Ag News. And the difference between the old Ag News and now is that we don't have a place for our mental illness population out there. And we need to, as a first responder, again, I've seen us just treating the symptom, not the root cause. And we haven't really truly worked with the county to build hospital and places like Agnew to house these mental illness that we have. And a lot of it is we have to have prevention. We can't build these $1 million permanent homes or $180,000 portable unit. LA did it for $3,000. And they surround them with services, including mental illness, job training, job placement, and mentorship until they're back to the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Ben, you're going to get the next question. How do you view your role in working with the mayor's office, and is there a council committee board assignment you are especially interested in?
Well, public safety, first and foremost. Neighborhood services, because I think our D7, neighborhood, is being ignored for a long time. As far as working with others, I am not a politician. I think we need to put those petty political issues aside and work together to make our city a safe, livable, and thrivable community. The only side I'm taking is the side for the people who need our government to help them. Thank you.
Councilperson Esparza, same question.
Thank you, thank you. I really, this is another great one. As a council member, it's my duty to be the expert in District 7 in the community's needs, our opportunities to improve, to advocate for residents and businesses, in addition to doing what's best for the whole city. In 2018, I came to the mayor with an initiative to revitalize the Monterey corridor, to support and uplift the businesses and the communities along Monterey. The mayor got it, he agreed, he has supported it consistently. We've worked together for the past 3.5 years on this and have actually worked with the Downtown Business Association as well. So he established the Monterey Corridor Working Group as an official city committee. This has led to more resources, more support, and improvements to this area, with much more coming down the road. In regards to committees, I am the most passionate about our Neighborhood Services and Education Committee. So whether you're a resident, an employee, or a business, having livable neighborhoods benefits you. Thank you.
Councilperson Esparza, small business, the backbone of the city's tax base. has been decimated by the pandemic. What initiatives would you support for the recovery of San Jose's small business community?
Thank you. The pandemic was so devastating for small businesses around the city. I saw firsthand the impacts it had on businesses in District 7. In fact, I and my team went door to door in Little Saigon and La Placita handing out grant information and multilingual grant information so that folks could apply for grants. I also supported expanding the Alfresco program, which has been incredibly successful. And most recently, I launched the Tully Night Market so that our micro businesses that have really suffered the past couple of years could sell products outdoors and get in front of the community. Also, while not directly related to the pandemic, but is still important, especially as our small businesses are recovering, I authored an initiative to support small businesses to become ADA compliant, to avoid costly litigation that could shut them down, at the same time by making our businesses more accessible to the community. Thank you.
Ben Doan, same question.
Thank you. First of all, to make our city safe, clean, and end the homelessness, that's what I hear from businesses. I have friends and family whose businesses are closed because of the pandemic, and there was not enough support from our city, and the fees are too high. Their customer, when they have their businesses open, were afraid. People didn't want to come because the crime rate is off the chart, especially at night. Homelessness encampments all over the place, businesses having homeless in front, defecating and urinating, making our streets dirty and unsafe. So we need to make sure that our homeless has a place to go. And when that is ready, we require them to use it. And we need to reduce the fee and support our small businesses. Thank you.
Ben, the San Jose City Council has recently experienced many close votes. Some call this a business versus labor union divide. Others describe it as moderate versus progressive. Where do you see yourself in this trend and how it shapes policy for the city?
Thank you. I think the business versus labor divide is oversimplified and exaggerated. We have council members labeled as pro-business because they vote against labor initiatives. But what are we doing to support our small businesses in our city? It isn't a secret that I support working families, but I also support our businesses because a healthy economy is a thriving community. I think if we do a show of hands here and online, cleaning up our streets and addressing homelessness are two of the three highest priorities of our downtown businesses. So as we continue to have candidates labeled by a select few willing to decimate commercial zones by over-concentrating certain services in areas like District 3 and District 7, and that doesn't help us. I advocate for policies that will benefit families, neighborhoods, and businesses because they are not mutually exclusive. Thank you.
Ben, same question.
You know, as a firefighter for many years, I don't ask, when I go to a fire, I don't ask someone who's hey, you're a Democrat or you're a Republican or you're labor or you're businesses. You just don't. City council shouldn't play that kind of political game of taking side. And I won't. And I will not do that. And I want to make sure that both business and labor, there are a symbiotic relationship. They should come up with a solution versus wins and lose. We should have a win-win situation that both sides can be happy to grow our city economically, fix our infrastructure, and support our citizens. Thank you.
Ben Doan, you will get the next question. The city's development agreement with Google for Downtown West was approved in 2021. What is your position on the project and what it means for the future of the city?
Generally, it's great, and I think we need to acknowledge when we do the right thing. What I like best is that we as a city ask Google to pay for services that they require. And the model for me is we're not give away to anyone. We need 20 Googles to bring our job level from 0.08 up to 3. And we need more company like that to invest in our city. But by us reducing fees, I feel that we as a community can make more businesses to come here and create jobs. Thank you.
Councilperson Esparza, same question.
Thank you. I supported the Downtown West project. I continue to support the project in votes. But we are also ensuring that this project is a benefit to our community. So not only is it going to transform aspects of downtown, Google has agreed to $200 million in community benefits, and that is inclusive of community input. The project also brings 1,000 affordable housing units to our city, but one of the least talked about benefits is actually important for the residents and businesses of District 7, and that's transportation. In District 7, Monterey Road is the southern gateway to our city and to downtown. And Downtown West will see significant improvements in our transportation infrastructure along the Monterey First Street corridor, and that not only supports our residents, but our major industrial and commercial hub in the Monterey corridor.
Thank you. Last question. Councilperson Esparza, do you agree that the transportation infrastructure is lacking in the city? How do you prioritize investments in the bus rapid transit, light rail, BART Phase 2, and the Deer Iron Station?
That's a lot. So light rail, BART Phase 2, and Doan Station are all incredibly detailed plans that I've supported. I will continue to support them through my next term. And while District 7 doesn't have light rail or BART, I've strongly supported expanding bus rapid transit. In District 7, again, it benefits downtown. And I'll give you an example. Through the Monterey Corridor Working Group, I've advocated for VTA's Rapid 568, and that replaces the Express 168 and increases the service from 4 trips a day from Gilroy to downtown to buses that will run every half hour from 5:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. This allows people to go from Gilroy to downtown through District 7, through the Monterey Corridor, to access convenient and frequent public transportation.
Thank you. Ben, same question?
Yeah, it is a priority that we need to get more buses right now into District 7. District 7 consists of, majority of the residents there are working class people, like myself. Have them run more often, more efficient by working with the VTA. We tend to focus on these long-term projects, but we don't fix what it is now. Our residents need more buses now. Yes, we have plan for the future, light rail. I would be totally supportive of light rails coming down, right down Capitol Expressway. Even BART going down there, but that's long term, but we need to focus of getting more buses, better timing on lights, paving our street so that our driver are not stuck in traffic. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much for coming out here and sharing your thoughts and opinions and how you would move forward as the council person for District 7 and sharing that with the Downtown Association, downtown, and of course the districts in question. I'm going to give you now your chance to make your outros and make your case. We'll start off with you, Ben.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Again, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to be here and talk about things that matter most to a lot of us. And there's a clear differences in this race. My opponent has been in office for the last 4 years. And you think things have gotten better, especially with the crime, homelessness, the garbage, businesses are closing, and there's not enough affordable housing. Let me be bold, really bold, to say that she probably should be your choice. But if you think we can do better, I humbly ask for your vote. I'm not a politician. I'm a first responder. But I think what we need right now is a responder and a leader. Someone who responds to you, not the political powerful, not to stand on one side or another. We need someone who serves the community as a whole. Someone not afraid to tell the hard truth, to get the hard job done by lowering crime, reduce the homeless, treat those who are treatable with a mental health condition. I hope to earn your vote. Please get on my website, beandone.com.
Councilperson Esparza.
Thank you. The city of San Jose is facing incredible challenges, and District 7 needs a representative that is from the community, that understands its issues, that will put in the work that improve the lives of everyone. I rose to the challenge to ensure the residents of District 7 not only receive their fair share, but increased resources into the neighborhoods, made systemic changes to our government to overcome many years of neglect that have led us to where we are today. But this benefits downtown too. I partnered with Valley Water to bring the first in the city trail patrol to the Coyote Creek, which is now being expanded to the Guadalupe Trail, where it should have been. I authored the siting policy to equitably disperse affordable and permanent supportive housing so it's not concentrated in Districts 3 and 7. In challenging times, we can't settle. We need council members that are willing to stand up for our constituents, our residents, and our businesses. Thank you.
Thank you very much to both of you for your time.
Thanks so
Thank
much
you.
for having us. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
And again, I want to thank everybody that came here to us live from the Tabard Theater, everybody that's joining us on the live stream. I want to again thank our candidates from our District 5 candidates, and Nora Campos and Peter Ortiz for sharing their views. I want to thank our candidates for District 7, again, my councilperson Amaya Esparza and Doan for coming out and sharing their things. Again, we're one city, 10 different districts, much of a unique personality on that. We see the downtown as, again, everybody's neighborhood, something that everybody can come out and see right there. But all of this right now is so important to us here in downtown. So I want to make sure that I encourage you to go out and vote, let your voice be heard within the downtown, try to make your world a better place. If you want some specific opportunities to participate in the downtown process, the San Jose Downtown Association has a number of committees which are open to anyone interested in making downtown a better place. There's a slide right there, as well as the volunteer opportunities that we have going throughout, in addition to all the events that we talked about at the beginning of the meeting that we sponsor, and we would happy to have you come out to visit. Again, thank you so much for joining us today. We'll see you at our next public meeting, which will be in September, so next month, where we'll be meeting the candidates for District 3. Enjoy your weekend and enjoy your downtown. Thanks so much.